What do you make of the timing of this announcement by the Royal College of Nursing? They obviously waited just when the Chancellor was talking about how great it was that you guys have got all these pay deals and stopping the strikes to say, no, actually, no, thank you. We've rejected this.
Well, I've just hot-footed it over here from the hall where you will have seen the response in the room to what Rachel Reeves just talked about. She talked about how we hadn't wasted a minute in fixing the foundations. We'd brought an end to the long-running dispute over junior doctors. We'd taken action to start resolving the issues on our railways. And I think the country is right behind us. It's been a tough decade and a half for nurses, for all of our public servants and for people in the private sector as well. But we've given public sector workers a real terms pay rise for the first time in a long time. We've done it not just because they deserve it, though they do, but we've done it because it's good for the economy. Every pound that you put back into the pockets of working people goes back onto our high streets and helps our local economies to thrive. So we're really confident about what we're doing. We'll of course continue to discuss these issues with the nurses and with other parts of our workforce as well, recognising that it's been really tough times. But the energy in that room today was overwhelmingly positive about the journey that this country is now on.
I will absolutely get onto the speech in a minute, but the question was about the timing of this. This was deliberately timed to cause maximum embarrassment and damage to the Chancellor. And it comes at a time when Unite are putting out press releases saying that they're really unhappy by how they perceive the Labour Party to be blocking a vote that they want to put on winter fuel allowances. I mean, you guys have only been in power 2 months. It feels like the relationship with the unions have already completely broken down.
The relationships with the unions haven't broken down at all. There's a really positive mood at this conference. Unions have a right and a duty to speak up on behalf of their members, and they will always make the case for our workers. But what we've got in Labour now is a Labour government that stands with our workers. There was a standing ovation for the Chancellor in the hall just now when she talked about making work pay through our new deal for working people. She talked about the pay rise that we've already given to public sector workers. She talked about the partnership that we're building with workers and with businesses and with mayors and councils all over the country. And every single part of that hall got to their feet and applauded, because that's a vision that every single one of us is completely behind.
I want to talk a little bit about the wider kind of economic argument, because Rachel Reeves was saying that yes, you need iron discipline, but she also said there'd be no return to austerity. I'm trying to work out, what does austerity mean to you? Because a lot of people will be looking at the spending plans, and in particular the cuts for unprotected departments, saying, well, if it looks like austerity and smells like austerity, it is austerity, isn't it?
Well, in 2010, George Osborne and David Cameron put forward an argument that they believed that the state had grown out of proportion to Britain. They believed it was crowding out the market, and they wanted to see the state pull back. Rachel Reeves is making a very different argument today. She's saying to the country that we believe in active government walking alongside communities and businesses in every part of Britain to grow our economy.
What is austerity?
Well, austerity was an ideological choice to make cuts because they believed it would be better for Britain. It wasn't better for Britain. If our economy had grown at the same rate as the OECD average, we would be billions and billions of pounds.
You guys want to make cuts too. It doesn't matter about the reasons.
We absolutely don't.
So you want to just, are you going to cancel the cuts planned for unprotected departments then?
We're going to fill that £22 billion black hole, because as Rachel said in the hall today, unless you create economic stability, you don't create the conditions in which people want to invest in Britain. Next month we'll hold an international investment summit. We'll be joined by people from all over the world who are investing in things like film, TV, gaming, some of our fastest growing industries in this country. And the reason that they're prepared to do that again is because we're ending the Tory chaos and unfunded commitments and instability that this country has had to deal with for too long.
My final question then, I'm going to get it to you, is I guess about the vision. Because there'll be some people who are thinking, look, you're basically telling us we've got to eat all our vegetables, but I need to know I'm going to get the beach body at the end of it. You know, you're very good at spelling out all the vegetables that you've got to eat right now. But what's the vision? What's the story?
I have to say, after 24 hours at conference, I'm actually fantasising about vegetables now that you've just said that. But the vision was really clear on display in that hall today. We're a better country than the governments that we've had, and we have so much ambition in every community and every part of the country. Now you have a government that matches it, starting with fixing the foundations, starting with creating economic stability, but not in and of itself, but so that we can build and we can grow and we can give people richer, larger lives wherever they they live in the country. That's something that really animated the hall, but I think it's something that people out there in this country will recognise as well. We're on a journey, it doesn't happen overnight, but we're starting today with our free breakfast clubs announcements, with our announcement that the industrial strategy will be published within weeks, and we'll work with the mayors to deliver it in every part of the country. We haven't wasted a minute. We're really excited about where we're going. We know it's tough, but there is a wider purpose to this, and that's the overarching message from the Chancellor today.
I just wanted to ask you, as Rachel Reeves made that speech, you have sunk £9 billion of public money into trying to settle pay disputes, and the Royal College of Nurses chose that moment to reject a pay offer. They are sending the government a message. How much of a blow is that to you, that you have invested that money, both political capital and taxpayer money, and you have not sealed the deal with the unions?
Well,
it must be gutting.
It's their job to stand up for their members. It's our job to make the right decisions in the interests of the country, and the Chancellor was very clear about that today. That means that we have to fill that £22 billion planned black hole. It means we have to live within our means so that we create the stability and the conditions in which we attract people to come and invest in Britain as one of the best places in the world to start a business and to grow.
But they have rejected the pay offer that you need them to expect to hit your targets on cutting NHS waiting lists. That is quite a blow, isn't it, on the first day of Labour, well, the Chancellor's Labour conference speech?
Well, look, they've had a really tough time over the last 14 years. It isn't just the pay, the real terms pay cuts that they've had to endure. It's also in all the instability in the National Health Service, constant top-down reorganisations, and an unprecedented global pandemic that has left us. We started with very long Tory waiting lists, and during the pandemic that got worse. We are determined to treat our workforce as partners in bringing down those waiting lists and rebuilding our country. They will stand up for their members. We will consider the position and take the right decisions in the interests of the country. I don't think you can fault the Chancellor for that. That was a very clear message from her today, and it's what makes us so confident that we can succeed in building the country that we've believed in all of our lives but never quite yet seen.
Okay, Lisa Nandy, thank you very much indeed.